You know what's funny? I use the word dialectic a lot because I used to be a dialectic behavioral therapist. And I say it on my TikTok channels, and the word means to have two opposing truths at the same time. Like, for example, a fox needs to feed its family. So it may break into a farm and steal a chicken, but the farmer needs to feed his family. So he's growing and nurturing the chickens so they can make eggs so that he can sell the eggs. And so who's right and who's wrong? They're both right and they're both wrong. It's wrong for the fox to steal the man's chickens because the man needs to pay for his kids to have books. But the fox needs to feed his kids too. So in essence, they're both wrong and they're both right, because the fox is going to get killed by the farmer, shoots him in the head because he wants to defend his livelihood. But the fox is going to try everything he can to steal that man's chickens because he doesn't understand. He doesn't have the cognitive capacity to understand the property rights. And that, look, you need to find your own chickens in the wild. You can't just rely on this man who's purposely purchased and nurtured these chickens. And look, placebo effect. Even if you believe something to be true and you know that you may be faking it, you may because you're aware of placebo effect, it still works. So I personally believe that Owen Benjamin may have seen some of my videos and used that word dialectic, and it's had a ripple effect in the community. So sometimes I feel a little bit lack of self-worth, because I feel like, well, I put a lot of effort into my TikToks and I haven't got much traction. But it's not about you, it's about the universe. At the end of the day, the whole point of it is because I feel like I have something slightly special and I want to share it with the world. And so I make these videos, not looking for credit, but hoping that somehow 1% of any of my somewhat tangible, intelligent ideas may be shared with the universe. And Alex Jones watches Owen Benjamin, and Nick Fuentes watches Alex Jones. And so now they're all using that word, dialectic, constantly. And I'd never seen it before, but recently, Owen Benjamin, Nicholas Fuentes, and Alex Jones are all using the word dialectic. And that single word may be enough to have a huge turnaround in society for the betterment. Because people are very, very tribal, and it's encouraged online to keep us separate and, high cortisol, stressed out, just arguing, bittering, instead of looking at the real issues like within. And so that word can save millions of lives. It can stop wars from happening, because then people can comprehend that there's elements of truth, that you can both be right and both be wrong at the same time, depending on how you look at it. And it takes a lot of unpacking and a lot of philosophical minded people who can actually can break down something and ascertain somewhat closest thing to truth. And so people need to be more wary of that word, what it means. Because for example, people from the left wing, they're not all stupid. People from the right wing, they're not all stupid. There's elements of truth in both what they're saying. You need to understand the rationale why. And so I was driving here and I was listening to some music. Actually, on a side note, I feel like someone like myself who's really obsessed with podcasts, you need to listen to music too, because I listen to music and I was just feeling so wonderful. Look at her, she's like, shut the fuck up. Sorry for swearing. You need to listen to music too, because I listened to Gautier, something that I used to know, someone that I used to know by Gautier, and then I listened to Vivaldi by Coldplay, and then I listened to Orion Instrumental by Metallica, those 3 songs on the way to my nature hike. And I felt so pumped up, I felt so enthusiastic, I felt so incredibly ecstatic. And music can do that. Like, me and music, we're a special relationship. I'm sure a lot of people do. But yeah, if you're obsessed with podcasts, don't forget music too. Peace. But yeah, basically, the point of the video was to say that, look, if you are someone who's not focused on just numbers, if you're someone who likes honor and you're doing it because you feel like you want to spread some kind of good value, don't worry about success and so-called numbers. Because I feel like if you have something, it's not about you, it's about some of your message going out to the universe, and you may not get the credit, but looking for the credit, that's part of the problem.